All right, on the left is Quinten Clausen, an '05 from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Kearney, Nebraska.
Oh, Kearney. Okay, I'm sorry.
I played in Lincoln though, but I'm from Kearney.
Okay. And on the right, Gabe Krueger, a returner, '03 from Blaine, Minnesota. Gabe, I understand that you got promotion from. It's been a tough couple weeks for the Ducks. I guess you're a little bit familiar with it.
Yeah.
But your play has earned you a promotion to a top line. You must feel pretty good about that.
I do. I feel pretty good about that. Yeah. Just kept pushing through, kept working hard, got up there.
Okay. Now, interesting, coming off the stuff that you've gone through the last couple of weeks, we got the Minnesota Moose coming in here, and that they're from your hometown. So does that a little bit different for you getting up for a game like that, or does it really matter?
Doesn't really matter to me. I didn't know the team existed until I came to the Ducks last season.
Okay, probably more the other way, like when you're playing at Fogarty or Fogarty, however you pronounce it, kind of like your home rink. It's a little bit special.
Yeah, a little bit. I played Fogarty and mostly Schwann Super Rink
Oh.
just across the street there.
Yep.
Too, for most of my youth and high school career.
Okay. And Quinten, you're off to a solid start. I think you have 4 assists so far this season. You're a rookie with the team. Did it take any? I think you made the jump from varsity high school to play for the Ducks.
Yeah.
Has it been a big transition, or has it come pretty easy for you?
Yeah, I mean the biggest transition really is the physicality of the play.
Okay.
In my league, I played in the Midwest High School Hockey League, and there was rule changes that kind of made it more of like kind of a softer league. Like the rules where you had to hit like to play the puck, or your stick had to be on the puck before you hit. And in this league, it's just finishing checks. Like if you finished a check after the puck was gone in my high school league, then you would have gotten a 2-minute penalty for it.
Yeah.
So that's a big change.
Yeah, I get the indication. I mean, I could be wrong, but Nebraska has some great teams there. They have a couple of teams in the USHL, but at the varsity level, maybe a little bit behind, say, the Minnesota, where it's their life. But still some pretty competitive players, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I haven't played a ton of, or at least when I was in high school, I didn't play a ton of Minnesota teams, but I know
Oh, yeah, okay.
we had, because we've just played inside of the league, but our Midwest High School League, Omaha and Lincoln were definitely good. Fremont wasn't the best, but those were the only 3 varsity teams that were in Nebraska.
Okay. Gabe, you came into this season, I think the bar was set fairly high. I think we're definitely a better team, but we're coming off a tough stretch. Does it feel different now than it did a year ago when you guys started the season so poorly?
Yeah, it feels a little bit different. Last season, we were struggling with completing games and finishing out. We did that really well at the beginning of this season, where we finished out a game which got us our win against the Moose. And then it kind of went a little downhill from there, but we've been working hard the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
And I think if we just bring it what we've been working on in practice, we should get both the wins against the Moose this weekend.
The Squatch has been just a high-powered offense since the minute they came into our league. Last year they were, I wouldn't say they were one-dimensional, but they definitely had a line that was contributing a bulk of the scoring. It looks like they might be a little bit deeper now, and they're getting scoring from maybe more lines. So does that make them tougher to play?
I would say that makes them tougher to play against, because last season it was mainly just a line with Jake McAlpine before he got moved up. And then this season they have like 2 or 3 of their lines that consistently work in their offensive zone.
Okay. And Quinten, as a first-year guy, it's never easy to go through something like, what happened last weekend. Is it kind of a helpless feeling on the bench where they're just everything they shoot seems to be going in the net?
Yeah, I mean, there were times when it kind of felt like there were times when it kind of felt like we weren't really playing bad, but it was just they got some really lucky bounces, and they just played really well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You and Gabe have both been pretty regular contributors offensively for the Ducks so far this season, but you're coming off a bit of a tough stretch where, you know, you've had one goal in at least 3 or 4 games in a row now. It seems like the team has the potential to put up some big numbers in a game. Do you feel like you're closing in on it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are. I think we're getting it more together. I think the lines are kind of starting to come together more.
Okay.
So.
Interesting weekend, Gabe. Obviously, the Moose is the one team that you've had some success with this year. But that was the first time in team history that you beat the Moose. You might be facing a bit of an angry team this weekend. What do you expect?
I expect them to take it personally, us beating them the last time. So they're probably going to dial up their game 110% more, which means we got to play harder.
Okay. And how's the reaction been in the locker room, Quinten? Do you feel like, with the leaders, are they stepping up? Is the confidence still there for everybody?
I think, yeah, I think it's built. We're getting back to what it was first weekend, but it definitely took a hit after the losing streak. Definitely kind of got down low, but I think we're starting to get back up there with this week in practice.
The good news is there's a couple other teams that are maybe off to, pretty close to the same kind of start as we are. And it's not too late for, a good weekend and then maybe a good showcase. And the Ducks could be right up there in the middle of the pack again. Is that what you're kind of banking on, Gabe?
For sure, yeah, I would say so. If we can play how we usually play, which is gritty, fast, and in the offensive zone most of the game, and beat the Moose this weekend, we'll have a lot of speed and momentum coming for the showcase, so we should get back up there.
All right. Guys, we had some great crowds here for your first 2 home games, at least for me. It wasn't like the place was packed, but for the Ducks, it was a good showing. We had, I don't know how many, but it was probably larger than any crowd we've had in a couple years. Does that help when you're in? You've been on the road so much this year. Does it help having friendly fans, Quinten?
Yeah, I think it feels good to have the support behind you, especially at home. Definitely gives you more motivation to show up for the games because of the fans who came to watch it. So.
And then one last thing, Gabe. And there's a couple extracurricular things this weekend, including I think after the game Friday, the kids are going to come in the locker room for autographs and stuff like that. You've been here for 1.5 years now. Have you kind of forged some relationships with the younger hockey players here? And obviously they look up to you, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I did a lot of the learn to skate stuff last season, and I was helping Rody with the Reedsburg skates pretty consistently. So I would say so.
All right, guys. Thanks for this, and hopefully a long skid comes to an end this weekend.